Welcome back. This is your girl, Miss J, and this is Talks with J, Views of a Sagittarius, episode 8. How are you holding up in quarantine? First, I want to start off by saying RIP to everyone we have lost due to COVID-19 and prayers and blessings to their loved ones. So, I ask you again, how are you holding up in quarantine? I can honestly say in the beginning of this quarantine, I was tripping. I think it was the having to be stuck in the house all day, every day. It got worse when work was over in June. I've never been a TV person, but now that sports is back, it's better. Basically trying to sleep all day or play 2K or be on Twitter or other social media platforms. Basically try to occupy my time because I've never been a TV person if it really wasn't sports. I really wasn't watching TV. A lot of times I stop watching something, then eventually fall asleep. I do that a lot of times on shows and especially movies. Don't ask me for our movies because a lot of times I couldn't tell you really what happened in the movie. With all the time being at home, I took the time to explore some interests and ideas that normally with my work I wouldn't have entertained. I started investing in stocks. I learned about when to buy certain stocks. One of my friends, known as HD Fats, he was investing in stocks that I would see him post what stocks he was investing in. And also shout out to KG the Poet. He was also on Twitter. He gives advice about investing and investing in stocks, and he also gives some information about when to sell off certain stocks. So that was helpful too. So I've pretty much been using the Robinhood app to do some of my stocks. And I've, out of the ones I've been doing, I've been faring pretty well with it. I also use the Public app to do my other stocks, and pretty much so far they're pretty much faring well on there too. So learning about what stocks to invest in and when to sell a stock, or putting dollars just into certain stocks versus buying a whole stock of a certain one. So for me, for the few stocks that I do have, some of them I have more than one of the stock, and some of them I've only put money into the stock because I wasn't sure exactly whether they were going to take off or not. So I say start with companies and brands that you know are going to pick up. That was a suggestion also that KG the Poet dropped on Twitter. So each day looking at what stocks I've invested in and kind of reading back on the information and the history on some of them to see whether they're going to peak or whether they're peaking now with some states being open and some states not being open. Also, being on Twitter, I had a conversation with the homie Barack Holiday, and I started my own podcast, which you're now listening to, and it basically stemmed from me being on Twitter late most nights, bored, and I started the hashtag Talks with Jay, just talking about just random stuff. And I noticed when I went back and I was looking at those tweets, I noticed that the interactions and the impressions with those tweets were higher than just the other tweets I was tweeting out about stuff. So Talks with Jay, views of a Sagittarius basically stems off the hashtag Talks with Jay. Being born on Twitter, I started talks with Jay, and who knew that a simple idea could end up becoming now into a podcast, and me using it as a way to open up and talk to people and get my thoughts and ideas out. Like before, when I would keep pretty much everything bottled in. Also, with quarantine and COVID-19 going on, please check on your friends. I'm going to say this again. Please check on your friends. Please check on your friends. Even your strong friends are starting to break. A simple few words can make a big difference. I know for me, normally I'm not one to want to talk about whether I'm dealing with certain things or necessarily how I feel about certain things. So I've pretty much either now started, writing things down. Twitter's kind of become like my personal diary where I'm tweeting what I'm thinking, things I've been holding in, and expressing it. And now with the podcast, I'm getting my thoughts and stuff out also. And it's judgment-free zone. I'm free to just say what I feel, what I'm thinking. And I don't have to worry about how anybody's going to take it. I can just say whatever I'm going to say. So, yes, we're all home quarantined because of COVID-19. There's no excuse why you're not talking to your friends, FaceTiming your friends, Zoom calls with your friends, calling your friends, texting your friends. You had no excuse. Even for me, I had a situation with one of my friends where we haven't really spoke in a while, and I put my pride to the side because of quarantine going on and COVID-19 going on, and I still text her to see, with what's going on, how is she, how's the family, how's the kids, because what's going on right now in the world is bigger than whatever we're dealing with. It's a matter of, I'm trying to make sure you're good. That's more so what it is. And especially because quarantine's hitting everybody hard, but in different ways. So if you're not feeling good, or you feel a certain way, don't be afraid to say you're not good. And I think that's a big issue with people. You don't want to feel like a burden to people, so your automatic response is, hey, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm okay. But in actuality, you're suffering on the inside because you don't want to be a burden to anybody.